Duke had a win last night over Elon, 72-61. Next game will be Saturday against Virginia Tech, a game that looks like they will play without Grayson Allen, who's been suspended indefinitely. That happened about 2.5 hours ago by Mike Krzyzewski, the Duke head coach, who we had lined up prior to this event that happened last night, and we appreciate him honoring his commitment. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good. I would always honor my commitment to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, we've built up in spite of some of the things, and you haven't always done a great job on these things, but overall, it's been pretty good. So I've always enjoyed being with you.
Well, let's see how it turns out over the next 10 minutes here.
All right.
Okay. Walk me through last night. At the moment you saw Grayson Allen tripping the player from Elon, what did you think in the moment?
Well, first of all, you see the whole play. And so first of all, Grayson wasn't playing well. And it was a very physical game. And there was physical contact. So to be quite frank with you, I didn't see the trip. I saw the foul. And when the referee blew the whistle, I'm looking at the official because I'm wondering what the foul will be. And then there's a reaction. That's the second foul. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't see that until after the game. And then the official said, we're looking at this. And then when they came over, Tim Nestor, who headed the crew, said, and I've had him many times. He's one of our better officials. And he just said, look, if you saw it, you'll agree with what we're doing. It's a technical foul, and so we're shooting the 1-on-1 and then two shots, and they got the ball. So I didn't see anything else that was happening because I'm talking with him. So Grayson's reaction and stuff like that is something I see after the game, and so
you didn't see his reaction on the bench?
No, not at that time because
okay.
I'm dealing with the thing. I'm dealing with what's happening administratively, but I did see everything afterwards, and that was part of my response this morning, based on what I saw, and after the game, I did, the fact I was dealing with the issue of the tripping, and talked to him, and then I asked Matt Matheny, who's the Elon coach, if it would be okay for he and his Steven Santa Ana to come in a private area, the coach's area, and that after talking with Grayson wanted to apologize in person, and we had good interaction. They were great, and we felt good about that, and then it gave me more time to analyze everything, and that's why I came up with the decision this morning to do what we're doing.
What does an indefinite suspension mean?
Well, it means it gives me time as a teacher to teach and to figure out. I don't think there's not a 10 commandments of tripping or punching or doing, or there's not. God didn't send down number of games or whatever. Each kid, each situation is different, and as a teacher, it's not the NBA. These are kids. I'll look at it as time. It's a time thing. It's not like you give a suspension and it's all over. It's a learning experience, and I'm going to use it as that in a teaching moment. And the teaching moment does not stop by giving one game, or maybe that's what it is. I don't know that right now. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 2 weeks. I don't know, but he won't play until I feel good about the entire situation and where he is at. And that's my responsibility as his coach and as a teacher of young men.
How does he explain the tripping?
Well, how do you explain any mistake you make?
But it's 3 times, though, is the only thing.
No, but tell me that you haven't made a mistake more than 3 times. I mean, come on, Dan, you've been doing this a long time. These are human things. Human beings do human things.
But no, I'm just
And so,
understanding it's 3 times. We all make
yeah,
mistakes.
well,
But
you're being naive about this then, about anything. You mean somebody doesn't make mistakes more than 3 times? That doesn't mean it's right. He was wrong in each time. But the fact of how does anything happen, Dan?
well,
How does anything happen?
but Coach, we're looking at 3 separate tripping incidents.
Yeah, well, you're going
That's
off
all.
on, yeah.
I just didn't know if he said, I get caught up, or I
No,
get too
he
competitive,
understands,
or whatever it is.
yeah, he understands that it's wrong. But you asking how does that happen?
No,
You
how does
should
he
ask.
explain it? How does
No,
he
but
explain it?
how does anybody explain why they make mistakes over and over until they finally don't make the mistake? I mean, you're just, we can. How is there an answer to that?
Well, he might say, Coach, I'm sorry I get so caught up in this.
Of course he says
Okay,
he's
but
sorry.
that's all I asked, Coach. I just wanted to know
Yeah,
what
no,
he
but
said.
you didn't ask that. You asked,
I said, how's he
how could
explain
this
it?
happen?
No, I said, how does he explain it? Not
Yeah,
how does it happen.
Sometimes you can explain.
Okay.
Sometimes you can explain that, and that's what learning, that's what growing up is about. That's why it's one of the reasons you play sport is to put yourself in a position where you fail, you succeed, you grow. And that's my responsibility. Whether it be a loss, a guy who does something else that's wrong during a game. How do I use that, and how do we eliminate that eventually? And then how do you become better? I mean, that's what that's all about, and it's called teaching. It's called getting better. It's called taking responsibility, for the fact that it's wrong, and then trying to eliminate that.
Yeah, but I don't want you to think I'm naive with this, because I have kids who are his age, and if they make the same mistake over and over, I'll ask them, why are we making the same mistake over? That's all.
Of course I ask them that.
Okay.
But I'm not going to talk to you about everything that I talk to Grace and Alan
but
about.
And that's fair, Coach. I just asked the question. If you say, look, I'd rather keep that private, then I'm fine with that. I just wanted to know, it's the same thing I would ask my son. Why are we making these mistakes over? You want to keep that private? Absolutely. Understand that completely.
Yeah, well, of course, but your thing was too, how does this happen? And then why it, and what do we do? Of course we ask those questions. Of course we go in detail in helping a kid and whatever is happening for that kid and its growth. Of course, all those things are done. But those aren't things that those are private moments with these youngsters. Those
and I understand
those aren't shared, and they shouldn't be. And that's how you develop a relationship. Everything is not out in the public. The public has no right to know everything about a person's growth. And but they see it when you're out there. They see you succeed. They see you fail. They see you win. They see you lose. And then hopefully you're growing from all that stuff.
But we did see the way he reacted when he was on the bench. Very demonstrative. Yeah. You said you weren't aware of that. Was there any thought of him not playing in the second half?
Well, I didn't see any of that.
No, if you were aware of it, would there be any?
Then I would have known even more that emotionally he was not ready.
Okay.
And then when he did get in, I didn't start him in the second half. I didn't start him, and then when I saw him on the court, he looked like a ghost. He looked, but I didn't realize the emotional thing that he had just gotten through to the depth until I saw it on tape. And I guess obviously if I would have seen that in person, then I may have done something different. And but I worried about him because obviously it impacted on him at a very, very deep level, a very, very deep level, and so that's very concerning to me.
Yeah, that's what I noticed, and I didn't know if John Shire alerted you to that. The tripping part of it, I get it, but when he sat down and you could tell that he was beating himself up over it. He knows what he did, and then I didn't know if it was one of those moments where you say, you know what, it might be better if you do sit down. But as you said, you weren't aware of it. But that was a concern.
And I don't disagree with you. I think I probably would have done something different, and I understood it obviously better by seeing it, and that's what and my staff after the ball game, they're saying, I said, let me see this, let me see exactly what happened, because this kid is distraught, and there's something more, it's really deeply affected him, and so before talking to the press or anything, I met with Grayson alone, and had a great talk with him, and then that led to the fact where he wanted to apologize in person to Stephen Santa Ana, and we were able to arrange that. And to me, that's the process of making this getting better, getting helping, getting this on the right road, and then the thing this morning, and our statement that we put out really early this morning is another step towards that. And obviously, but I've been in constant touch with Grayson since then, and making sure that he is okay, that he is, that we are taking steps, and this is what's going on, and so when somebody makes a mistake or does something wrong, you first of all, you want to take responsibility and all that, but you also want to make sure that you're there to help guide them as they resolve this issue and try to make sure it doesn't happen again, but also get through the situation. I mean, that's a responsibility that you as a parent would have with your kids, and obviously I have that with the kids that I have, the opportunity, the honor to coach.
Is the media making too much of this story?
I haven't even looked at anything in the media.
All right. Yeah.
I've pro, con, or whatever, because it's relevant up to a point because it's in the public so much, but that wasn't going to prompt anything that I do. I know the situation after studying it. I know the youngster better than anybody, and I also have to start my way of teaching in that. It's not to try to do something because, and I'm not saying you, but the media has said it, or positive or negative, like you're right, you're wrong, it's this, you should do this, you should do that. To me, those things are not a part of this at all. It's what we feel is right in dealing with the entire situation.
You expect to hear from the ACC with this matter?
No, we've already contacted the ACC, and early this morning, and told them about what we were going to do, and they put out a statement going along with what we're going to do, and I don't know the exact statement, but I think Commissioner Swafford put out a statement, and that's part of any school working with the conference to make sure that we as we as a school, but also the conference is in agreement with what the action that's taken by an individual school. So that's like a standard operating procedure in these things. And so, we did that very early this morning with the ACC.
By being suspended, not involved in practice or sitting on the bench? Do we know what that?
I think I'm still deciding on that. I do think that in order to, we have to be cognizant of the fact of, what do we think? How will he grow the most, from this and get better? And we're in a little bit of a break now. He will be on a bench. Like when we play up at Virginia Tech, he will not play. But as far as practice and that go, first of all, I'm going to see where he is at when he returns, and I'll be in constant communication with he and his parents, and then I'll make that decision along the way. I think to have this. This is the way I've coached and led my entire life, is just take things on a day-to-day basis and see what that situation, that individual, that group needs at that time, instead of having preconceived ideas about what's the right, we're going to do it this way, or we're going. It gives the leader a better chance to be on spot than to adhere to a recipe that maybe it has been done that's not appropriate. So I found in my leadership style that's been that's worked out really well. It's worked out very well. So hopefully it'll work out well in how this situation is dealt with.
You're 69. You thought you'd seen it all, didn't you?
Well, you never see it all. I mean, that's the thing that's interesting. The other, when you have the opportunity that I've had, to do this for 42 years, and then with the U.S. team for 11 years, you're involved in so many things, so many situations, and what I found is that it's what makes everything so interesting, but also that one situation can produce, even though it might not be one that you want to be in, if it's handled appropriately, it can lead to a huge success. Not necessarily that you win a championship or whatever, but a huge success with a group, an individual, or whatever. And those are the wins in addition to the wins that you get that people see that make what I do wonderful. And would I rather that didn't happen last night? All right, yes. I mean, that's an easy answer. But it did. And, I learned something when I was a cadet at West Point. Not just something, but a lot of things. But one of them was failure was not a destination. And that when you fail, there's a reason for it. You have to figure out why. At West Point, I failed a lot, and I made mistakes over and over. But I was never allowed to let that be the destination. And as a result, you get better, and you get better. And then also by living that situation, you have empathy for when you become a leader and how to handle and how to deal with the people that you are privileged to lead, how you might help them handle that. And it's a lesson in leadership that the Academy does very well. And I've hopefully have learned it well, and hopefully we'll do a good job when I'm in all those situations.
Well, good luck against Virginia Tech. We appreciate you joining us, and until the next time.
All right. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, Coach. That's Mike Krzyzewski.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.